This is the plaintiff, Robert Mock. He says the defendant's married to his 16-year-old daughter's mother, and the guy backed his semi-truck into the car he bought her, and the guy won't pay for the damages he caused. He never apologized for crashing into the car. He refuses to take responsibility, so he's here to teach him a lesson and is suing him for the $6,000. He's now out. This is the defendant, Aaron Keith Enoch Jr. He says he's doing the job of being a dad to the plaintiff's daughter, and he did slightly damage the car because a tire rolled into it. He agreed to fix the damage, but the plaintiff wants him to also fix all the other damages to the car, which he didn't cause, and he refuses. So here they are. He's accused of causing a family squabble. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $4,500 for defamation.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milianos presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Enoch, tip your hat back so I can at least see the whites of your eyes.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I insist on.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Okay. Mr. Mock, what happened?
I got a phone call from my daughter, who's 16, that...
How do you two know each other?
This is my daughter's mom's husband.
This is your daughter's stepdad?
Correct.
How long have you been married to...
We've been married for 9 years, and I've been around for 10.
Okay. And the daughter's how old?
About to be 17.
Okay. So go on.
So she called me and said that the defendant, Keith, damaged my car. And I'm like, well, how did he do it? And she pretty much said, well, he told me that the tire fell off the back of his truck and hit the car. And I said, well, go FaceTime me, go outside, look at the car. And I was like, there's no way the tire did that.
All right. Let's see. Do you have pictures of the damage?
Yes.
This is before. This is the damage. This one is a picture of the damage.
Correct.
Okay. Go on.
So initially I was like, okay, well, because he's a Class A driver, I initially didn't call the cops. I just said, well, just have them send me their insurance information, because I was like, I just don't
Are you
know.
not on speaking terms with her mother?
Just text message.
Okay, so did you text her and say what happened?
I just texted her and asked her just for the insurance information.
So you didn't say, hey, what happened? She showed me the like there was no preamble. It's just give me your insurance information.
Well, I just said, she obviously knew what happened, and I said, well, can I get the insurance information?
And what did she say?
No response.
Okay.
So about a week later, my daughter gets an insurance document from her mom that he presented to her mom and said, Dad, this is the insurance information. I was like, well, I text her mom. I said, hey, can you send another picture of the insurance information, because no one can read it.
Okay.
No response. I said, okay. I said, okay, after a few days of no response, I was like, okay, well, go outside and take a picture of his truck.
Okay, can I ask a couple of questions? Your daughter is where?
Ohio.
Okay, and you live where?
In South Florida, Miami.
Okay, and so, all right, so you're trying to handle all this?
Over the phone.
Right. Okay, so go on.
So maybe 10 days or so had passed since it happened, and I get this insurance information, and I'm like, okay, take a picture of the truck. Now I got the plate, now I got the DOT number. Now I'm calling in the state of Indiana for the information.
Because you can't, what information were you asking for? You know who owns it.
We couldn't read the insurance document that he gave.
Oh, I see.
Was not legible. So I was like, well, no one can read that. Like the way it's in there.
What is this a picture of?
That's his truck.
That he parks in
the driveway.
Okay, and is this a company truck?
No, ma'am. It's mine. I own the truck.
It's your own. You own the truck. All right, so go on.
So once we were able to figure out the name of the company that he works for, finally the company called me back and said, well, he wasn't working for us during the time.
Right. If it's his truck and he's at his house, it wouldn't be a company thing.
Right. And then there's no response from her mom. And he hasn't picked up the phone and
what about your
contacted me.
daughter? Like, your daughter's almost an adult. Is she saying, I need the insurance information? Like, is she hustling?
She's asked her mom, and her mom told her, let them deal with it.
Okay, go on.
So she's going to her senior year, playing volleyball, has a job, great student, great kid. And then she's calling me, Dad, when is my car going to get fixed? And I'm like, I got to go through this process.
Is the car insured
The
by?
car's by me.
All right, so then-
So my insurance company finally got his information after I had to come in and get a police report. So they wanted me to have a police report. So I had to fly in because it's a small city. They don't allow you to do it online. So they said, you have to fly in to do this. And I didn't want to send my daughter to the police station. They said you could send her. And I was like, I'm not sending her to the police station. I've already sent her to one body shop. I said, I'm not sending you. You're only 16. You shouldn't have to deal with this.
Okay.
So I had to fly in, do the police report, show them the insurance document. So it finally came down to, before I accepted any money from my insurance, I reached out to Keith and asked him, the body shop said it's $5,500, or you can just get her another car. If you get her another car, I'll give you this car.
Okay.
And he said no.
All right. So what happened, Mr. Enoch?
Your Honor, I was at home and it was late at night. I was I have tires attached to the back of my truck, right? And I was trying to pull one off, right? And I instead of being in my driveway, I parked on the street because it's an incline in my driveway. I don't back the truck. I don't back out of my driveway in the first place. I back my truck into my driveway. So me hitting a car, a Ford Focus with a 35,000-pound Peterbilt is nonsense. So she had backed into a pole not too long before that, into a fence. Now, me being hurt.
Wait, stop. She had backed into a fence or a pole?
A fence or a pole, fence post or something.
How long ago?
A couple months before. The dent was already there. It's a couple months before.
Wait, but that's more than a dent. I mean, that's a pretty...
Yeah, she had backed the bumper and busted the light and all that stuff. She had backed into it already.
Do you have any proof of that?
No, Your Honor. I would never.
Did your daughter ever tell you that she had backed into a fence or?
She did, but not to that damage.
Okay, so we know it happened, but we don't have any evidence of how bad that damage was versus this damage. Is that it?
Plaintiff says his daughter's stepfather damaged his car and he won't pay to have it repaired. But the defendant says the car was already damaged because she backed into a pole. Let's listen.
I hit the quarter panel, Your Honor. I hit the quarter panel. It was already bashed in. The light
What did you hit the quarter
busted.
panel with?
I have buckles. If you look at the pictures of the truck, Your Honor, I have buckles on the tires, right? I wrap them up, and that tire's on the right-hand side, and one of them had rusted, and I pulled it off, and I was pulling, and I ended up pulling, threw it across, and it went right into the car and the quarter panel.
Okay.
Well, it was already damaged, but the quarter panel wasn't pushed in as far.
All right, so why didn't you get her car fixed if you're her stepdad and you've been around for so long and it was your fault?
Well, Your Honor, I kind of had a heart attack. And
What do you mean?
I had a cardiopulmonary.
Oh, you mean you actually had a heart attack?
Yes,
you
Your
weren't.
Honor.
That wasn't.
And I wasn't.
Okay.
I wasn't playing.
In
went into
relation to
hospital.
the accident, when did you have the heart attack?
Just a few weeks after, but in the meantime, he had already called my job 9 times and told them that I hit a parked car with a truck. So they were waiting on the police to cite me or send something. So they told me for 2.5 weeks that I wasn't allowed to drive my truck. So I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't make any money. I couldn't do anything because he lied. He also told the courts that I didn't have insurance. I have bobtail insurance. It's right there, Your Honor. I have bobtail insurance in the insurance forms.
What's
truck
bobtail insurance?
It's when I don't have a truck and I don't have a load. When I don't have a trailer and I don't have a load, I can drive it around the city and do what I need to do when I'm not loaded. So, I mean, and you have to do that in between one load and the next. You have to drive around unloaded. So we're not uninsured in between the time that I pick up one load and drop a load off and the time I go to another city or another state and grab another load. That's nonsense. It's unreal. That would never be.
Okay, so when he filed this lawsuit against you, did you notify your bobtail insurance that you were being sued?
I notified the company. He had already notified the company, so that was
right
outside the realm of anything. They were calling me, right? And they
right.
were calling me right away like, well, you're not going to be able to get on the road until this is adjudicated.
Right, so, but what I don't get is why didn't they just pay?
Because I told him it wasn't a vehicle accident, so my insurance is...
Yeah, but, but you were working on, you were at the car and pulling a tire off the car.
Yeah.
They didn't consider that, did you?
The truck wasn't turned on at the time. I wasn't operating the vehicle at all. I was trying to get tires and put them in the garage.
All right, so what efforts did you make to help? Do you have a good relationship with your stepdaughter?
You want to see the pictures, Your Honor? I'm at every single thing. At every single thing that she does, I'm the announcer at her games. I'm the one calling her name out. When she's crying or she loses a game, I'm the one that's there holding her head at night. And when she's sick, I'm the one that when she's throwing up, I'm the one holding the bucket and holding her hair back. I don't know what this dude is talking about. Why don't you just call her and ask her?
Yeah, but what I want to understand, though, he's the one who bought her the car. The car is under his name, I presume.
ma'am.
And so he has a right to sue if there's damage to the car, which you've readily admitted there
Yes.
was. The
Yes,
only debate here is how much damage. What did your insurance company, and by the way, what position does your daughter play?
She's a middle blocker.
And she's a senior?
Correct.
Is she getting recruited?
We are waiting on ACT scores right now. I know.
gotta happen. The ACT scores have to
We're
happen.
waiting on the scores, and students are waiting on those scores.
Right. Well, good luck to her.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. So what kind of car was this?
2013 Ford Focus.
So the $1,300 that you're suing for is your deductible?
That's correct.
Okay. But you're suing for $6,000 and you say you're out $13,000. How are you out $13,000?
I lost money from my job in Florida to come back 3 different times.
What were the other 2 times you came back?
I came back for the police report. I came back to meet with the insurance company. I had to come back.
Why would you have to come back in person to meet with the insurance company? You sure you weren't just coming to watch your volleyball games and visit your daughter?
No, I was coming back for the insurance company. I had to be there in person. She's only 16. Who's going to represent her?
Oh, you could represent her by phone.
No,
See?
no. So I'm coming to.
Yeah, I know you're coming, but why you want him to pay for your flights to the tune of $1,371 for every flight that you took to come back here during.
I had to come back. Those are.
Why would you not be able to handle the insurance by phone? I've never.
I tried to do it. I tried to do it by phone.
And why would you have to come in person?
They asked me. They wanted me to. I wanted to be at the body shop when they showed up.
Oh, that's
with
it.
the
That's on
adjuster.
you. Why would he have to pay for your flight
Because she. So in order for the car to get looked at, it had to go to the body shop.
Yes, I understand that.
I didn't want her to have to drive to the body shop, sit there with the adjuster, sit there.
She
with
doesn't
the
have to
people.
do anything. She drives to the body shop and somebody drives her back and she leaves the car there. Or she drives and she sits.
there's no
What's the
other
big
car.
deal? What do you think she's doing with the car the rest of the time? She's driving it and going somewhere.
There's nobody to help her to do
Well, why
that.
don't you just listen? Even if I bought that you had to fly in to do the police report, at least I understand you don't want your daughter having to go to a police report. But honestly, you don't need to be there when they're. And then what's the third time?
The third time was when the car had to go from a clean title to a salvage title to get inspected. Because
Why can't that be done from Miami?
I had to do like 5 power of attorneys. So I got.
Yeah, but we have power of attorneys in Miami.
I know, but I got to do that for Ohio.
All right, additional monies for a new car. You're suing for $2,645 for additional money for a new car.
Because
How do you figure? All the guy's responsible for is the damage to the car. And what he's saying is it was already damaged, so I'm only responsible for part of the damage. All right, I don't know if I buy that or not. It doesn't matter. What I'm asking you is, in what planet would he be responsible for $13,000?
Well, the $6,000 because I lost work. I had to leave.
Oh, I hadn't even gotten to that. You're suing for $6,000 in lost wages.
I had to leave. I had to leave Florida, meaning I have.
What do you do for a living?
I have a yacht. I have a party bus. I got a black truck service in Miami.
Do you rent out the yacht?
So I rent out the yacht
Okay.
and I drive the yacht. So
Okay.
I had to leave. When I had to leave because
How are you going to prove $6,000 in lost wages?
It's the contracts I had to give away because I wasn't there to drive the boat. I had to go back.
How are you going to prove that?
I got the contracts from the people because I had to go back to Ohio. So there was no one there to drive my boat.
You don't have you have all these, and you're the only one who drives all 3 of them at different times? You juggle them?
No, I have somebody that drives the party bus. I have a driver that drives my black truck. So I'm the one that handles the boat.
What about the new car detailing? He needs to pay to detail the new car you bought your daughter?
The car was clean. Her car was clean.
Right. Why is he responsible for it?
Because once I bought the car, I bought it from
I'm not asking why did you detail the car. I'm asking you why you are suing him for detailing it.
I put down, this is the money I'm out of. I get her a car, and then now I got to go get another car, and then the whole car inside. Once I buy that car,
but the only thing the guy did was damage the car. You made a decision to buy your daughter a new car, and now you want him to have to pay. I think there's a lot more going on here than just, hey, you damaged a car. I think that there's really bad blood between the two of you about who reigns supreme in her heart, when really it's not a competition. There is no competition. She loves you both. It's all good. She'd much prefer you get along.
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. So this dad and stepdad can't agree on anything, and in particular, who damaged the car. Let's go back into the courtroom and find out.
I'm trying to make my daughter happy because she is in a situation where she didn't want to go into that house.
What is your counterclaim about?
Ma'am, he did all of these, everything that he sent to when he called my job, he told him that I wrecked a car. I didn't do that.
Why would you call a guy's job and do that?
I didn't call the job.
He called 9 times.
I mean, you know, he's helping to support that house where your ex and your daughter live.
I reached out. I didn't call his job.
I told him that I backed out of my driveway into her car, and I was like, that's not what I didn't.
And why did you say that?
I didn't say he backed it to. I said,
here it is, Your Honor.
He backed from the street.
How do you know that he backed from the street when what he told your daughter was that it was a tire?
My daughter told me. She looked out her window. She said, "Dad, this is what happened." In the window from her room, she said, "Dad, this is what happened. He was on the street and he backed the car. He backed his truck into the driveway.
She can't know.
Her car is sitting in the street next to the driveway.
4:30 in the morning.
So the back of the car had. I mean, that's what she told me. What happened? I was thinking the car was on the other side of the street.
He also lied and said I didn't have insurance, Your Honor. And
right. Well, that got handled pretty quickly. There was really no damage to you because of that, because you do have insurance, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But my job told me that I could not come back until it was adjudicated because he told the court that. And he told the police.
So have you not worked since this happened?
The 2 weeks that he kept me out of work, that's one thing. And I'm not going for any more than that.
No, but that's my question to you is this hasn't been adjudicated. I'm here now, and I'm going to. So what happened? They changed their mind about
they were waiting to see if I got a citation from.
So then they figured if 2 weeks passed and you didn't get a citation.
Then you can roll.
Okay. So your defamation case is all about whatever he told your boss?
Yes, he told.
But it didn't have any bearing on your job, right? Because
it took me out for 2.5 weeks, and
while they waited to see if you were going to get a ticket.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. All right, folks. Mr. Mock, the amounts that you're suing for are crazy. They're not the kind of thing that's compensable when someone has an accident. You tell me that he rammed into it, but you have no firsthand knowledge of that. That's pure hearsay. I have him saying it's a tire. I don't care what it was.
Yes,
I care what the damage is. I don't care which way it happened. The only thing I know for sure is that the $13,000 you're asking for is in another planet and ludicrous. That's not going to happen. But on your counterclaim against him,
yes, Your Honor,
I'm ruling 0 because I don't think it hurt you in any way, and it was his version of the facts. He says his daughter told him that she watched you hit it. Did she ever tell you I watched you hit it?
No, it was 4:30 in the morning, Your Honor.
When you were moving the tire?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So
yes,
she's never told you I watched you.
No, she's never said that to anybody.
Has your relationship with her been affected in any way because of it? Okay.
No problem. I'm at every game. We do the same thing we always.
All right. You both at the games?
I can show. No. I can show you, Your Honor. I'm the announcer at the games.
Okay.
I'm the
Does
announcer
he
for
come
the
to the games?
He comes in town, and he actually does come to the games sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So I am going to order you to pay him the amount that he was out in terms of the insurance, which turns out to be $1,300. That's my verdict. Good luck, folks.
Outstanding.
And 0 on your counterclaim.
So the plaintiff prevails to the tune of $1,300, not the $6,000 he was suing for, and the defendant gets nothing for his $4,500 loss. Let's see what Mr. Enoch has to say.
It's fine. I don't mind. Yeah. You know what? As long as my daughter has got what she needs, I don't care. It's fine. Everything else seemed a little far-fetched and a little ludicrous, but the whole thing is about taking care of her, so we're fine.
Well, all right.
Thank you very much. You have a good day, sir.
Okay. Now, let's see what Mr. Monk has to say. He only gets $1,300. Sir, what's your reaction?
Right now, I'm a little disappointed in the verdict, but I just had to deal with it.
Well, that's the judge's decision. There's nothing else you can do. You do have to deal with that.
Correct. No.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Good enough. All right, Harvey, what do you think about this case?
Well, Doug, I want to talk about the countersuit for a minute. This was a case where the plaintiff told the truth, so the defendant didn't win. There are two elements to defamation. One is proving that whatever is said was a lie. That didn't happen here. And then secondly, if you can prove that, you have to prove that lie was so bad it subjected you to scorn and ridicule in the community. That simply was not proven here. Certainly, the fact that the plaintiff told the truth is enough to knock the defendant out of court.
What is the last social event that your entire family attended?
My mother's 97th birthday. I flew all the girls back in. One of them got delayed for Hurricane Ian.
Right.
She literally
was
came in
complicated
for
getting
6
everybody
hours.
there.
It was
Yeah.
complicated to get everybody here, but how
Yeah.
many times do you have a 97th birthday?
Right. And we had it at a restaurant in Miami called Casa Juancho.
Yep.
Right.
And we had Maria, even though it's
where
a
we went for her 96th birthday.
And her 95th
birthday. And her 94th birthday.
No, it's just every couple of years we do a big one.
It's
But
funny.
we did, and it's a Spanish restaurant, but we had Mexican mariachis because my mother loves those, and it was a lot
Lots
of
of
fun.
balloons. Good time had by all.
Yeah, all the
right?
cousins. Yeah.
It's funny. I was thinking with my family, if you said, when was the last time you had everybody all together for something? It would have been like once a year, twice a year when everybody got together. But in your family, it's every Thursday.
Yes, oh, that's true, actually.
Every Thursday.
Well,
so
but
it's
my
once
girls
a week.
aren't there for that.
But they would be if they were in
if they
town.
were in town. I make
Right
them go.
now-
Every
right now they're
Thursday
out.
we have lunch at my mother's house.
And that is called
Jueves Social, and that means Social Thursday.
Right.
And so we all end up, cousins, my sister, my brother, whatever kids are in town
home-cooked
if they're
Cuban
home.
food.
Yeah, home cooked Cuban
always,
food's delicious.
right, which is really good.
Yeah.